After that experience, I never visited his house again.
Yep, that's a friend. I'll leave you to your own devices. Oh, word? You haunted by Slender Man? Yeah, buddy. Hey, look, we can FaceTime. It's the best you can get out of me. What it is, guys? It's your boy Blastphamoushd, and today we are here to check out more scary story videos, much to you guys' requests. If you guys want to watch the original video, the link should hopefully be in the description down below. Let go.
I am in my mid-40s. This is what happened nearly 20 years ago. One day I visited one of my friends at his apartment, which was very old and shabby. There was an entrance to an elevator in the center of the corridor. I can't remember well, but my friend lived in unit 701 or 801 on the 7th or 8th floor. So looking at the apartment building from outside the main entrance, his house was on the far left end. One summer day, my friend said he was alone and didn't have any plans, so we called two of our friends and had a drinking party. The four of us had been drinking since the early evening, and just before passing out, we all lied on the floor, turned the lights off, and started talking. While talking to each other, a beam of street light entered through the window and was shining on the ceiling. I guess the street lights on the first floor of the apartment complex were on. Of course, we were talking while gazing at the ceiling. All of a sudden, the white ceiling turned black, as if something covered up the light. At that moment, we looked out the window while crouching down. Someone with a creepy vibe was hanging on a steel bar outside.
Oh, nah. See, look, that's doing some...
The light was shining from behind that person. We could not see his face clearly. Then, after making an unidentifiable gesture, he smiled, showing his white teeth without making a sound. We were so shocked at that moment that we stopped talking and were frozen with silence. Suddenly, one of us picked up an empty bottle of wine and ran toward the window shouting, "Kill that bastard!" But the creepy guy had disappeared. After a few minutes, we went out of the apartment to see where he had gone, but we could not find him. We could only hear his stomping footsteps and assumed he entered the corridor and went down the stairs. Going down the stairs is the only way that stomping sound could be made. It sounded like he descended to the first floor and was walking around, so we followed.
General Caucasian people gonna hear the sound, see somebody hanging from 7 to 8 stories up, and then smiling wide and you can't see it even got eyeballs, and you gonna chase after it?
The black friend's still right there.
None of them are black. That is what Caucasian people call tan. I don't think any of them are African American.
At least one of them thought to think, I'm not gonna be the first one to jump up.
I wouldn't have nothing to do with this. They'd be all on their own on this one.
Followed down the stairs looking for him, but quickly returned to the apartment, still filled with fear. At first, we thought it must have been a robber or some crazy guy laughing in front of the window.
That climbed 7 stories up?
But when we came back to our friend's house, we were all shocked. The distance between the end of the corridor and the window of our friend's apartment was too long for someone hanging onto the steel window bar to jump across. Only a crazy person would try and fall to their death. Ordinary people can't even hold on to the steel bar. We thought that maybe someone had committed suicide by jumping from the roof of the apartment and caught the steel bar while...
Oh, that's a demon. That's the devil from hell.
The first floor to see if a body was there, but there wasn't a single trace. After that experience, I never visited his house again.
Yep, that's a friend. I'll leave you to your own devices. Oh, word? You haunted by Slender Man? Yeah, buddy. Hey, look, we can FaceTime. It's the best you can get out of me.
I am a 19-year-old male, and this happened many years ago when I was very young. To give you an idea of the layout of our house back then, the living room has multiple windows that directly look out onto the back garden. There's a big gate in our driveway to stop anyone from getting in. Next to the living room is the kitchen, which also has more windows, but also the back door. this will be relevant to the story. So my mother was completing the household chores as she does one day. I was sitting in the living room watching television on the sofa with my back to the living room windows. All of a sudden, I saw a figure reflecting off of the picture frame hanging on the wall opposite the window. I asked my mom if my dad was back from work, to which she said no. I'll never ever forget the look of horror on her face when I told her that yes, he was. He's in the garden. She looked outside the window and almost had a heart attack when she saw a scruffy looking but fairly built man outside the living room window. This didn't seem to faze him at all though. He psychotically smiled at my mother through the glass, and my mom asked him what he was doing on our property. He said nothing, with the same sadistic smirk on his face. She said that she was going to call the police, and what he said is one of the scariest things I've ever heard. He screamed at my mother through the glass that if she even got her phone out, that he would break the glass. She did not know what to do. She paused and tried to rapidly think of what to do next, how to keep us both safe. She wanted to protect me by calling the police, but she also didn't want him to hurt me if she did try to call them. As soon as he saw that she was terrified, he ran for the back door. Luckily, it was locked because my mom has always been a paranoid person, so she always locks the doors. He screamed at her to let him in, or if she didn't, he'd find a way in and kill us both. My mother told
Bro, he gonna do that anyway.
Call the police.
Call the police.
him to off, which enraged him, and he pulled out a pocket knife and began bashing hard against the windows. I was still oblivious to what was happening, as I just thought it was my dad. I was very young. My mom frantically grabbed me, and I don't mean picked me up. She literally grabbed me off the sofa and booked it up the stairs. We were backing up in the upstairs hallway, looking for anywhere to hide, when my mom's younger brother popped out of his room with his headphones on. My mom didn't even realize he was home, and he clearly didn't hear the commotion downstairs because of his headphones. My uncle was 25 at the time and was really well built. He's intimidated a lot of people. My mom cried and told him that there's a guy who's trying to break in. While she's telling him this, that creepy lunatic screamed from downstairs that he was in the house.
Which means you can kill him. Ha ha. In the streets, we like to call this have your way with him.
He said cynically, "Boogeyman is coming out to get you," which
Oh, he sure is.
freaked me out. It freaked me out so much that I actually remember that to this day. Anyway, since the guy didn't know my uncle was home, he kept yelling and telling us to come out and that it wouldn't be painful. My uncle told us to lock ourselves in the bathroom and call the police. We did, and after 5 minutes of groaning and blatant violence downstairs, the police stormed in and found the guy bloodied and my uncle
Oh yeah.
mercilessly. My uncle really didn't hold back. Turns out that he was a known pedophile, which is why he was watching me for so long while I was watching TV.
Luckily enough, the uncle was a real one and showed him what he won. All expense paid trip to the infirmary. Oh boy. He'll enjoy such comforts as an adult diaper, a full body cast, and frequent temperature takings from the back. Rectally. Yeah, you know, I am really glad that somebody got the business for doing that bull. I'll never understand any of these people who always try to take the non-violent route. No, don't hurt him. You gotta do the right thing.
He had it coming.
You gotta kill him. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to comment, like, and or subscribe. It's your boy Blastphamoushd. Peace.